go. Welcome back, boys, to a new episode of Da Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. Podcast only talking about our league, the only league that matters. No one cares about your family league. Nobody cares about fucking your ESPN leagues or your dynasty leagues. Nobody cares. We only care about this league. This is the hardest league in the fucking world to get a win in. So for anybody out there getting wins, I can finally say I'm joining the ranks of all these guys that have more than one win. So just enjoy it. Enjoy it when you do get a win, because trust me, it sucks ass when you're not winning. So don't let anybody make you feel bad for taking fantasy football too serious. This is what we do, okay? This is what we do. If you're a wife sitting on the couch right now, you married into this life. You should have known. There was definitely signs before you married us. There was definitely signs that said this guy's a fantasy football loser. And you ignored them. So this is on you to now deal with that. And yeah, he's going to watch a podcast talking about his fantasy football league. That's just what we do, baby. So anyways, on with the show. Week 10 recap. I've got a pretty good show for you guys, I think. The first episode where I've done 2 interviews. I got a guest join me on BP's Complaining Corner as well as a guest on Feeling Myself. We'll get into that a little bit later. We are going to talk about Vibe Check. We're going to talk about gossip. We're going to talk about BP's Complaining Corner, Feeling Myself, Zach Starts of the Week, Week 11 matchup preview, and, of course, Loser of the Week we'll talk shit about. There is no trade talk this week. First time all year long we've had a week go on where there has been no trades. So that might shorten the episode a bit. Due to the fact that I'm not reading everyone's books on their breakdowns of the team. So we are celebrating. We are celebrating a big win as a unit. I think we can all agree it's a good thing, except for Peeler. It's a good thing that Brandon got a win because we just cannot listen to his fat ass talk about his fucking sorry ass team anymore. And I'm joining you guys in that fucking thing. I don't want to do it either. But I'm not even going to spare you, the fact that, is my team good now? No, it's not good. It's still as bad. I just got lucky with one. And eventually, you're going to find that breakthrough. And I did this week. So, cheers to everyone that's got the win. Oh, man. Beers taste way better when you're winning than when they do when you're losing. Life is just better when you won. And I plan to have the 1 week win is already wears off. I find that's pretty early. Tuesday, I'm already that was fun. Now it's on to this shitty week. Good news is there's only 4 weeks left of this bullshit. So Vibe check. Welcome back. We've got. The first thing I found is the boys are streaking all the way around, good and bad. 10 out of the 12 teams have a streak of 2 or more, win or loss, obviously. The winning streaks, Tyler at 4 winning streak wins in a row, Donald at 3, Adam at 3 in a row, Dakota and Jared, they're at 2 in a row. Me, it said losing, so I just said, it auto-corrected in my brain to me. So, sorry. Losing streak. We have Mr. at 5. That is a hell of a streak. It now is the longest because I had a win streak of 7. And so that is the largest streak we got going right now. It's Mr. with 5 losses in a row. Justin at 3 losses in a row. Peeler at 3 losses. Braden 2 losses in a row. And surprising for some, not for others that have been teetering around the fraudulent category, Austin at 2 in a row. Drops 2 in a row, 2 straight. But again, he plays me, so we'll see what happens. Transaction count is very high. If you go through the first 4 pages, it's just adds and drops. And not a lot of them are actually on the waiver wire day, which is tonight, tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. The reason I think that is obviously is because a lot of us don't have any fucking money, so we're either bidding zero or we just waiting to see what the fuck happens in the morning and all throughout the week. And then a lot of it comes down to like there's just not a whole lot out there to really be excited about on a Wednesday morning. And then as the week goes on, you continue to like look at your roster, and then you build where you can, pick up where you can. Somebody drops somebody because they have to, make a roster change, and you're like, ooh, let me look at that. So overall, it is very high. That's what makes this league really tough. If you listen to podcasts, of course, I talk about that ad nauseum, that I listen to a lot of podcasts, and every single time they tell me to go look at this guy, I swear to God, he's on somebody's roster. Like, this league is very, very tough. If you play other leagues, you'll notice that you're able to go on a Friday afternoon when you just happen to open the app and you can pick up a guy that, oh, this guy shouldn't be fucking on the waiver wire. Oops, let me pick him up real quick. Like, that shit doesn't happen in our league. So yeah, that's where I've got on that. Studs are balling. Teams with the studs are winning. It's an easy concept. You've got guys like Jared's team, which we'll talk about later, where the roster is only stud based, and they all balled. So it was probably a shitty bullet point, to be honest with you. Be honest with you, boys. The trade deadline next year, a couple. Like a new guy in the league, Braden, was like, you guys don't have a fucking trade deadline in this league? A couple years ago, I think it's been about 4 or 5 at this point, I moved the trade deadline all the way to the latest that the app would allow me. A couple of reasons I think we did that was because trades are electric. They continue to always be the most funnest part about this league is how active the trades are. I know this is more trades in this league than any other league. And we wanted more of that. I do believe the fatigue has set in where we just we would like a little bit of normalcy, and I'm speaking for everybody, but I think I'd like to give something more normal compared to the rest of the leagues. Just to try to prevent a team. Like, we have the lowest scoring team has such a harsh punishment, so nobody's going to really stack those bigger teams. But you do see a higher chance with a late trade deadline that a team like, if Augie pulled off a huge trade right now, like his team is very good. And if he was able to pull in a huge trade this late in the season, it would almost feel like that's the dagger, like give him the ring. So I think we're going to move it up next year, unless anybody has any qualms against that. I don't think anybody really will. Just because we do have a very outside of normal rule currently in place. Like, if we get that back to something more standard, then I think everyone would be okay. If you look at the standings, I'm going to rank my gossip kind of in order of the standings. So that's how I'm doing that now. But if you just look at the standings overall, it's still anybody's game to make playoffs. You've got literally everybody except me, Peeler, and I'm throwing Justin into this category. I'm sure he wouldn't feel that way. But I think all of our seasons are everybody else's seasons outside of those 3 can make a strong push. Mr. included in that. He's got 4 wins. If the cut's 7 wins, he just needs to win 3 out of the next 4. It kind of just depends on what those top teams do. We've got some ballers in this league. This is the teams that could win it. The top 5 teams in our league right now are strong, and we'll talk about it obviously. But this is the grind time of the season. We have 4 weeks left in the regular season. The time is now. We just talked about trades. If you're going to make a trade now. If you're not, if you're happy with your roster, it's still like there's not that much time left in this regular season to really make your team a whole lot better. And now it's just about every single win is very, very important, more so than I've been saying in the previous episode. So that's my pep talk. That's just how I talk off of a win. Sorry. And then the last thing I will bring up is in the vibe check is this probably might be under gossip, should be under gossip, but fuck it, we're gonna put it in gossip. Gossip segment. Welcome back, boys. We've got Donald dominates once again with huge points from his Cowboys. The Cowboys combined for 90.86 points. Justin was throwing out in a text to me. He was like, it was an afternoon game. He's like, Donald's going to get 100 points from those Cowboys, and he didn't score enough in that morning slate to feel comfortable at all, as he probably shouldn't have been, because Donald's entire team got to play in the afternoon. And Donald's Cowboys came to fucking put a whooping on him. Like Dak Prescott had like 37. He's the highest scoring fantasy quarterback, I believe, as of now. I don't know if he's number one in the standings, but of the last 5 weeks since Donald's got him, he's for sure the number one scoring fantasy football player. The next one down, Dakota jumps in the standings. He's down at 2. He's up to 2. He grounds out a win, despite being fully back. I don't know why I put that. I'm sorry, guys. But he is the third highest scoring team. He used Brian Robinson and Devontae Adams against Mister. The two guys he pulled off in that trade with Mister. He used those guys, pretty much went off. Devontae didn't go off, but 14 points, 15 points, whatever it was. That honestly is kind of a shove it up your ass, Mister type of thing to do. And I called it out earlier in the last week's projections when I was talking about like these guys had that massive trade with each other. We'll see who works out for each other. If Dakota didn't get that huge effort from Brian Robinson, Dakota wouldn't have won. Mister put up a very good game. He scored 123 points, and Dakota needed every bit of that, grinded out a win on Monday Night Football, and I think his win didn't come until like the third, fourth quarter, so because Josh Allen wasn't playing very good, so Stephon Diggs wasn't playing very good. All things are trending for Dakota right now. He's got JJ back. Debo's looking back. Debo might not crack his lineup because he has that stacked of receivers. We know about the receivers. And then he's got ETN, Swift, and B-Rob as his running backs. CJ Stroud is the quarterback. The dude's on a fucking roll. And, I mean, if there's a betting line on, futures, I would guarantee you he would be minus money, not plus money. Austin drops another game. We're going to let that breathe for a second. Austin drops another game despite Gibbs outscoring Montgomery. His own boys let him down. From Lamar, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews. He scored his normal 112. That's what he does. This is what Austin does. But maybe that's all he does. And that has been the story of Austin for his entire life. In this league, he's good, not great, and he's always been that way. And I'm sorry if that comes off harsh. It didn't mean to come off that harsh. Jared rolls through AC. AC scores as normal, but insane effort from Jared gives him the highest scoring team title for now. He is at the top of the rankings in the points for, overtaking Zach. And Dakota. I think he jumped 2 spots this week with that 188-point performance he had. Excuse me, gross. Adam's team is deep and quietly dominating his matchups. Last 3 weeks, he hasn't had to work very hard. It's been open. It's been pretty much a win from kickoff in the morning games, all 3 times that he's played. And none of the guys really, it was never really close throughout the matchups. As a unit, I think us as a league, we need to band together and just play better against him. You know, he's feeling himself big time, and he's very cocky in his text. He is the most definition. Like when I make jokes, like he's feeling himself because I do it. No, this guy lives on feeling himself mode. He'll never come on this podcast because I don't want him on this podcast. Just kidding. It's not because of that. It's just because I don't think he'd be very good. It's not because of that either. I just think he talks shit so uniquely. Anybody that knows and talks to Adam very often, he talks shit so uniquely with the most emojis that nobody uses, and they do hurt your feelings because he a lot of people do the good game. No, he talks shit always. He's always on 10 and he's always ready. And if you say something good back to him, he just doesn't respond. In one out, you're like, and then he'll wait until one of his players scores again, and then he'll laugh at you. Like, that's just what he does, and he's good at it. I mean, whatever. So Adam, I think he's 5 in the rankings, maybe 6. I'm not sure. Sorry. Tyler wins again without Cooper Kupp doing anything. He has a great starting lineup. I mean, his roster is very well rounded from his running backs, quarterback, wide receivers. He's got George Kittle, who's hit or miss. But he has a good starting lineup. His when he needed his guys, like this week, when he needed guys to step in and fill some roles, like Jaylen Warren scored 19 points, he's gotten that. So, you know, I can't really say that he's not deep. I don't think a lot of us are deep, but he did a good job of filling that spot start this week, and credit to him. Zach loses again, another heartbreaker. You know I've been pumping Zach's tires real hard in this league, but I wouldn't even call it a heartbreaker. It was kind of a beatdown from Augie. But I will say, looking at his team, he did have the bye week struggles. He was a team that was very much a starting lineup guy, a star player guy. He has Tyreek Hill, CMC, and Josh Allen, both number 1 or 2 at their position, and he had to face all of their buys except for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's bye is the last big one that he's got to overcome. That comes in week 13. But I think this is when he might make his run. He's got Braden this week and then me next week. So, I mean, you could chalk that up as 2 dubs. And I don't even know what he has going in week 13, 14. So I still think he's going to get into the playoffs. And then from that point, you know, it's scary. So Josh has some fucking tough matchups coming up. As a Bills defender, I wouldn't say a Bills fan because I don't do that shit. I'm a Rams fan. By the way, I'm rocking Jared Goff today, baby. I've been waiting to pull this bad boy out. I've got 2 jerseys up there, and I wanted to save it for the time that I finally pull off a win. It's been 4 weeks of me waiting. But, I brought out the Jared Goff for you boys. But, yeah, anyways, I was talking about Josh. I am a Josh and Bills defender. It's not looking good for me this year. I do notice that the first 5 weeks, when Josh looked like he was the MVP of this league, nobody had shit to say. Nobody... And I was pretty quiet and tame. Like I was happy for my guys, but the media, you guys follow the media trend, and I'm saying you guys because everyone comes at me or comes at Josh so fucking hard, and it's like, yeah, they're struggling, they're playing bad, but the argument is like, if you they crowned these guys the champions the last 3 years. No, they didn't. You're listening to like one guy on fucking ESPN radio talk about how Josh Allen's the best football player in the world, and that pisses you off if you're a Patty fan, if you're this and that. But like, he is dominating. So like, they're just saying that, and I mean, I don't know. It's a shitty argument because it's always like, oh, they crowned him. They crowned him. They fucking, everyone wants to call him the MVP and he doesn't even have one yet. And it's like, no, they're trying to make a hot take And he was balling at that time. So he has been this guy for a long time now where he gets into his turnover shit, and he's did it again last night. And, maybe this is just what he is. Maybe he's not a guy that's going to win hella Super Bowls. Maybe he's a Dan Marino throughout his whole career, and he just puts up insane stats, and he doesn't win a championship. And, maybe that's fucking fine. I don't know. Like, not everybody can be Patrick Mahomes. And I will say, looking at back to fantasy and how it relates to fantasy, Zach, he has a stretch he has to play a lot of really good teams. He has to play the Chiefs this year still. He has to play the Eagles, I think. He has to play the Jets next week. He has to play a couple more tough matchups, the Dolphins. So we'll see what he can do. I'm still a believer in Zach's team, and I have a feeling that, like, me being a fan of Zach's team is what is going to be his downfall, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Zach. I love you, buddy. Braden, continuing on with the gossip, Braden loses to me with his best two players on bye. Lineup all of a sudden doesn't look very pretty. I've been also talking very high of Braden, and I pretty much jinxed him. His team doesn't look very good right now, but with those two guys, Travis Kelce and Jalen Hurts, back in his lineup, I think he'll get back on the winning side of things. Maybe not next week, but we'll see. And he has the on the bubble potential. Like, he'll be on the bubble when it comes playoff time. Justin has 4 wins somehow. I'm throwing him into the BP and Peeler category roster-wise. He has another killer bye week this week. He has both of his starting running backs, Bijan Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson, both on a bye. That's going to kill him. I don't see how he can pull out a win this week against a very, very stacked Dakota, I think. I've got it down in the previews. Mister once again puts up a solid week after making all of his trades, dismantling his team. He scores 123 points, but he loses on Monday Night Football. And now he has a chance to get back in the thing. Again, he can win. If he can start pulling out some wins, he can get back in the playoffs. And then I pull off a huge win on Monday Night Football to make the battle back from the lowest spot, 12th place. And I'm going to try to make this last place matchup pretty poppin'. I mean, if you look ahead, and I think I've alluded to it earlier in previous episodes, Week 13, me and Peeler play each other. Hypothetically, that is what it comes down to for the lowest team in our league. I'm fucked that week because I've got currently, unless I make some trades, I've got both of my Bills on a bye. I've got DJ Moore on a bye. And I've got Saquon Barkley on a bye. Week 13, I'm completely fucked. I don't even have enough starting people on my bench that could actually fill out my roster currently. So I've got some work to do, and I will work harder than Peeler. Peeler's grinding too, though. I've been calling that out for what it is for a while. Oh, by the way, state championship this week, boys. Let's go win a fucking ring, huh? And so I will grind harder than Peeler, and I will try to scratch together one more wins. My season and Peeler's season is solely down to me versus him, and that's all this comes down to. And that's it for gossip. BP's Complaining Corner. For the very first time, since week 2, I finally pulled off a win. And there is happy time. So for the first time in BP's Complaining Corner, I ain't going to be a sad, miserable little bitch. Pulled off a magical win. It truly was. I needed 30 points going into Monday night in order to beat Braden. That day was weird because I ran out of Zen on Sunday night. And Zen. So I didn't go to the store first thing Monday to get it like I normally would. And I got to work and I said, you know what? Let's see if I can quit real quick. Let's see if I can drop this habit. So I said, all right, let me see how many hours I can make it. And then, I did okay. And work's fairly not stressful, so it didn't bother me. And then I get home. My wife bought a new chandelier. She wanted me to hang. And the fucking thing was pissing me off. So that got it blood flowing a little bit. Remy's fucking crying for attention like crazy, like not and I started to feel like just fucking ultimate stress. And then the first quarter happened, and Jared Goff had not Jared Goff, Jesus, sorry. James Cook. Sorry. James Cook fumbled. He caught a pass. I'm like, yeah! And then he fumbled. And then they were like, all right, this turnover shit's out of control. We're going to bench him. And it's like, here's my thing, and it goes back to the Josh thing. You can't bench a guy for turning over the ball when you have Josh Allen as your quarterback. Like, Josh Allen is the guy that turns it over. You ain't going to bench him. So don't bench anybody else if they're also turning over the ball. I'm all for benching guys like skill players if they continue to turn the ball over, but not in that certain situation. Like, he is your most talented guy in the backfield by far. People could take digs at me and say Lat Murray's better. You could say that fucking Leonard Fournette's going to take over that job. That's just not fucking true. James Cook is explosive. He is quick. And he ended up coming back into the game and played very well. And you start to see some scoring drives based off of what he was doing. So anyways, I was watching that and just like 3 possessions, I think, from Denver. No catches for Sutton yet. 1 catch to Kincaid, and I'm like, God damn it. I need 30 points from 3 guys. This isn't going to happen. And I just fucking I was shaking. I was very, very spun up. I had an anxiety attack. So I think I'm way more addicted to these than I may think I am. I thought I could pretty much shake the habit. I think I could, but it's going to be not in football season, and it's not going to be when will it be? I don't know. It's just not looking like we're at anytime soon. So I still am unable to get anything from Saquon. I look at it like he was playing the Cowboys. Dude had 66 yards. If you watch him, he is good as fuck. He is all they have, though. And fucking DeVito is the worst starting quarterback. There's been some bad ones this year. He is by far the worst. He is unserviceable. And honestly, that brings up what do I do with him moving forward? I've tried to trade him. I don't know if his stock is high enough to get anything like a running back 1 back for Saquon. So, I just might have to ride this one out and burn a roster spot and hope that he can get better. But good news for everybody is I brought on a special guest to join me on BP's Complaining Corner. Special guest this week is Braden. I beat him, and immediately after he wanted to come on, he asked to come on. And he brought the funny, and I'm very happy that he came on. He avoids low score 2 weeks in a row. He didn't break 100, but he comes on and we talk about it. So enjoy that. What's right up, now. Braden?
Too much, man. A lot. This is the Complaining Corner, right?
Yeah, right. Complaining Corner. I'm giddy. I'm giddy as fuck right now. I gotta win.
I have so much to complain about. Can I start off with a couple fuck yous?
Sure.
I got 3, and 2 are for you.
Okay.
1, just fuck you for beating me. Wasted no time. But also, dude, I was on a 4-game win streak, and you had to open your fucking mouth, dude. And what happened since then?
I've been saying it. It's been the theme of everything. I say somebody is good, they fucking blow it up. I say somebody's a fraud, and they fucking go on a tear. Donald and everyone else.
It's truly unbelievable. But so those are my first two fuck yous. And the last one I have is for Dakota. Dude, listen to what this motherfucker did to me. Okay, so I had Jalen Hurts out, right?
Yeah.
So I go to pick up Josh Dobbs, and this dude outbidded me, saw he outbidded me, and then he tried to trade him to me, that fucking cocksucker, dude. And
I'm so happy that happened, by the way, because I had a bid in for 7 quarterbacks on Tuesday, Tuesday night. I was like, I just need to. If he bids 0, I'm gonna get, like, I don't know, and that's why I ended up getting Russell Wilson and Baker Mayfield on my roster. Which the second at 10:05 when the game started, I fucking dropped them because I wanted to send you that fuck you as well,
dude, and I tried to get too cute. I know I'm gonna get lit up on Zach starts of the week for Gardner Minshew. You already know I am. And
well, I started him the week before, so I thought that was another little ode to you. Like, hey, like, he's got Michael Pittman in his lineup. He started him last week. It'd be kind of poetic if Gardner Minshew went the fuck off, like early Sunday morning. Gardner Minshew gives BP a 20 burger. You're gonna fucking taste that. That's what at least was running through my fucking head.
I was ready for one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, have you ever seen the movie 7 Pounds?
The one with Will Smith.
Yeah, where he kills those people in a car accident.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Specifically that scene where he's reading, or he's like over and over again saying the people that he killed just to make him feel bad about himself. The past couple weeks, I've been just listening to fucking James Conner, Calvin Ridley, fucking Gardner Minshew, Kate Otten, just to make myself.
Dude, I live my life like that. I literally, I walk around and I see stuff in the street, and I'm like, Saquon Barkley, like, I wish he fucking was in front of that truck right now, like, all the time, all the time.
I feel
I got you, man. This is a little different because, normally it would be me also complaining. I still have a long road to go to not become last place. But I've seen the opportunity first last week against Jared, and then this week. I seen your matchup 4 weeks ago, and I was looking at your matchup, and you had no Kelsey, no thing. I had nobody on bye, and I was like, my team is terrible, but it is my best shot for an opportunity to pull off a win, and hopefully, and I was like, oh, he's going to pull off some mega trade, something crazy, but I got lucky.
Bean for nothing, bro.
They don't what? I think you cut out.
Bean for nothing, bro. But hey, at least for you, you can't win the rest of them unless you win the first one. And there's one for you against me.
Just one. And it started terrible this game too. That first quarter, James Cook was basically, they benched him. And now he fumbled again. I just was out there and he fumbled again. And he might not play the rest of the game. Luckily, I had just had that one killer drive where Kincaid scored, the drive right before fucking Sutton scored, and I was just like, oh, thank God I got something. But I needed 3 players to score 30 points. I should have had that in the bag, but I tried to make it interesting for you. So,
well, hey, GG's, like I said, but
you get your guys. I mean, you get your guys back next week, and that's pretty much been your heart of your team. Obviously, Jalen Hurts just as a walking 25 scorer, and then Travis Kelce. Calvin Ridley might be a bum. He might be a problem.
Bro, how shitty do I look? Like, I mean, Donald was the one that offered me Calvin Ridley for Dak Prescott, and I just,
buddy, me and you both. We hopped Donald's shit for that. It wasn't just me. Adam was riding. Everybody else was like emphasizing what the fuck. I was like, Donald, what the fuck? You just traded like a number 1 potential receiver for a fucking quarterback? Dak Prescott, we've seen him do, and he's just fucking balling.
Bro,
balling.
Lighting it up.
Yeah. It's fantasy's fucking gay, dude.
It's
It's the worst.
It's fucking gay, dude.
It's the worst. I got to be careful with the gay slurs because I'm trying to keep this episode public. Last time I dropped a couple bad words, so
Couple fuck bombs.
yeah. But uh, thank you for joining on the BP's complaining, the first guest on BP's complaining corner, because you just got to get it out, and maybe that's the only time someone is going to be willing to step in and complain is when they lose to me. Like, that is not losing, but losing to BP. It's like, all right, now it's time to I've hit my low.
Just unload. I have one more thing to complain about.
Go ahead.
Because you guys saw in the group chat that I was fully prepared for the video, right? And so I was gonna shotgun a can of chicken noodle soup.
I seen that too, and I have it saved because it's my time's coming again.
So
that's funny that you were gonna do that.
I went and bought 2 of them, just in case I fucked up on the first one. So I'm out $2 now, so I'm gonna complain about that, and I'm poor.
Okay, all right. Well, I think it would have sucked. I'm myself. The video I seen, it was just all broth and no noodles came out, and I was like, oh, that might suck.
Dude, it's probably because you didn't go low sodium. I got low.
Okay. Well, I will keep that on the tickler file when I'm back in that fucking realm of shit. So, but
I also had another idea. So I live in an apartment with a bunch of little kids running around with scooters, and I was either gonna shotgun the chicken noodle soup, or you remember just being a little kid and like flinging your razor around and just hit you in the fucking ankle.
Yeah.
That'd
be the worst.
Just wreck my shit.
Oh my god, dude. That would be the funniest thing. But also, like, that would, I mean, we're adults, dude. We got to go to work the next day.
I fucking sit down, do nothing.
Oh, man. Braden, thank you very much for coming on, sir.
Thanks for having me.
I hope things get better for you. I do. I think I've been looking at your team, calling it like pretty good, and it always looks terrible on a really bad week. So try not to judge it based off of this week. Look at me giving advice because I won. Is that patronizing as fuck or what? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you, but I think your team will be fine. You just need your guys back. Yeah. Who do you got next week?
I have Zach, but also I have Kamara out. So,
oh, and he's back. He's fully healthy and back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to grind, buddy.
Yep. I got my work cut out for me. That's for sure.
Cheers to the grind, and congrats for dodging that last lowing score, so you didn't have to fuck up your ankles.
Thank you so much.
All right. Later, buddy.
See you, man.
Feeling myself. This is a no-brainer. Special guest was Jared. He definitely came on and talked some shit, way more than any of the other guys that came on. Feeling myself. He scores 188, highest point total of the season. The second highest point total of the season was him. And just real quick, let me give you into his matchup a bit. That game was way closer than the score looks. And then it wasn't until that Chargers-Lions game, we'll say the afternoon slate, Chargers-Lions, he got 96 points from, between Montgomery, Keenan, St. Brown, and Laporta. 96 points from those guys. Brayton didn't even get that, his entire roster. Subtle shot at Brayton there. And then the Seahawks-Washington game also brought in 60 points. So between two different football games, his entire roster, outside of his kicker and his defense, he only had 2 football games, and he set a high score in those 2 football games. And they were both in the afternoon slate. He ended up adding on another 31 from his defense and his kicker. Just an absolute shit kicking from Jared. So he comes on and we talk about that. Enjoy. All right, welcome on, Jared, to a new Feeling Myself segment. Jared, asked me if he could come on this time because he is in his bag right now. Okay, let me set the stage real quick. You had uh, kind of a rough couple weeks where it's put you through some adversity. You've had the big Lions bye week, couple dead weeks before, Calvin Ridley stuck in your lineup that was fucking you, and now 188 points. How we fucking doing?
You know, BP, we feel great. You know, the last 2 weeks were a little rough. We were on the verge of, you know, almost scoring the least amount of points in the league both weeks.
You almost lost to me.
Almost lost to BP. Actually planned on losing to you. Went on a run. Tried to do my, my punishment because I thought I was going to come in last that week as well. Only to find out that I ended up coming up on top, which felt good. Losing to you is a different pain. I don't know what's worse, coming in last place or losing to BP.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping with the whole podcast thing, like losing and being low score, that should always be like worst case thing. But yeah, I mean, losing to a 1-18 doesn't feel good. Just probably aspirate.
Yeah, it's never easy, dude. You're looking great tonight, man. Are you feeling good?
I did it. I fucking did it. I finally got one. I got one done. A long grind to keep battling.
And then Kincaid back-to-back touchdowns, dude. That's
it was a good 5-10 minutes for sure. But anyways, back to you, because on the pods I talk about my teams in very nauseum, and I want this to be about you. Why is your team the wagon that you claim it is? Okay. Well, I also tried to have you. I tried to have you on like 2 weeks ago in the in my other segment, the BP's complaining corner. Yeah. And you were like, "No, I'm way too optimistic." And I was
way
like,
"Too optimistic for that."
Thank you for letting me know.
We don't get worse around here. We only get better. We're past the injuries. We're past the bye weeks. And with a healthy team, we see what this squad can do. We've done it before. We actually put up 184. I think that might have been week 3 or 4, and now we're at 188. So we're reaching new ceilings, man, and it feels really good to kind of feel like we kind of hit our stride.
Yeah, I mean, your team is a little built like Donald's, where it's like we just got 1 or 2 good offenses, heavy, and we just load our team with this entire thing. Like, obviously the Lions, but you have all the good Lions. So you have the running back, the number 1 receiver, their number 1 tight end. You had Jared Goff. You still have Patty.
We took a little bit of gamble. I mean, it was never the strategy to get David Montgomery going into that draft. That was 100% by accident. I thought I was getting Javonte Williams on that bid, but it's definitely worked out for me in the best. I was a little worried going into this week with Gibbs kind of taking the lead in the backfield over the last couple of weeks, but there's enough touchdowns on that team to spread it around. So, with Montgomery getting one, Amon-Ra getting one, and
Laporta didn't score, but he had like 9 targets, 7 catches.
I thought he might have gotten close, but
he might have scored. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm not positive either. Don't quote me on that.
Your matchup was a very weird one, because it went from like Austin didn't play terrible. He just does what he always does, scores 112 and hopes to get some bounces his way. And you at a point were at like a risk like 3 different times during the thing where it's like, oh, like when Gibbs broke off that one in the first quarter, it was like, oh, fuck. No, maybe this isn't over. Like maybe Austin does have this going.
For sure. Yeah, there was a couple points. Then he got his second one, and he's putting up 20 points. And now I'm like, well, my guys got to start playing. And they started playing, man. And they actually showed me something good this week.
You got 99 points. You got 99 points in that Lions game. And
that's crazy.
Wait a second. It was more because you had Keenan Allen. You had more than 99 points scored in that game, because Keenan Allen went berserk in that second half too.
Gave me a 40 burger.
Yeah, let me look at it real quick. because I have it up right here. You got in the same game in the afternoon window, you had 17 from Montgomery, 40
Hey,
from
babe.
Keenan Allen.
Hold on one second, babe. Hey, I was high score this week. You want to get some Uber Eats? Let's get some Uber Eats.
It's late.
Sorry.
It's 8:30. You just now eating dinner?
We had a busy afternoon, man. We had a busy afternoon.
Hey, you're spending your fantasy winnings a little early. I see. Uber Eats. That's
okay.
like $80.
That's okay.
Right
We're
on.
trending in the right direction, BP. We're trending in the right direction, baby.
Who do you got next week? Do you know?
I have I believe it's Kyle. I got Kyle next week.
I need you to beat the fuck out of him, please. Beat the
Well,
absolute shit out of him.
With the way we performed this week, I mean, I don't see why that's not in the realm of possibilities. I mean, we're through all of our bye weeks. We're through the injuries. I mean, Keenan Allen got a little bit banged up in last week, but he made it back to the field before the game was over. So,
Yeah,
I don't see why we're not putting up maybe 120 to 130 here on out. Pat Mahomes wasn't even in the lineup, dude. Sam fucking Howell.
Hey, Sam Howell came in and he fucking you had every single player go off. Your lowest scorer was your tight end at 8 points. And everyone else was 16, 19, 17, 24, 40. St. Brown with 30. Kicker 11, and you got 20 points from your defense. That is an absolute shit kicking you put on Austin.
And they got Chase Young back there now, so I feel like that defense is only getting stronger. We got 3 defenses in the lineup. I feel like that's my weakest point moving forward, so I got people to slide in there.
The 3 defense strategy. Wow.
Let it roll.
Jared is just transcending the fantasy game. He studied a little bit, I can see, before this podcast because you threw out Chase Young. That's good for you. Like that's a good name to throw out if you're Jared Cox.
Yeah.
Like, good job, man. Like, I went on
dude.
this big old rant last week how you don't even fucking watch football and shit like that. And
yeah,
you went in.
I missed the Monday night game tonight, but it looks like it worked out for you. I watch when I can, dude, and when it's important. Sometimes when you get down, it's hard to watch. It's tough to watch.
I wish I could do it, man. Congrats for that thought process right there. But anyways, I'm gonna leave the floor open to you to say anything else. What message you want to send to the rest of the league in this Feeling Yourself podcast? Go ahead and go off and feel yourself a bit.
Yeah, man, I'm really feeling myself this week, especially. It feels good to get back on a winning streak, knocking down 2 wins now after we lost 2 weeks ago. Being past the bye weeks and injuries, I feel like it's a wide open field moving forward. I feel like we're really a top contender with the big dogs in this league, the Dakotas and the Misters, the Donalds in this league. Knock down Donald, knock down Austin. I mean, we're in the heavyweight division here, boys.
It's a tough league to win in, man.
It's a tough league to win in. But we're taking down some of the number 1 seeds with this team, and I feel like that's only going to continue into the playoffs. So,
you think you got a third ring in your future, or what?
I feel like we got a third wing with this team, dude. We built this team. This team wasn't just crafted; it was built. So I feel good.
Fair.
Cruising in. I feel strong going into playoffs, and as long as the team stays healthy, you see what they could do, and I think we can. I think we could potentially take this one to the top.
Are you looking to make any moves? Potential, like, is the trading block always open for you, or are you happy with what you got and you're ready to push on forward? The trade deadline is coming up in about, I think 11, 12 days, something like that. 25th.
Trades are always open, man. I could move DK. I could move. I think the receiving core is going to stay strong with Amon-Ra and Keenan Allen. Those aren't movable pieces. That's my king and my queen on the chessboard right there. DK. DK is a very movable piece. I'm not in love with my running backs. I know D-Mo has probably gotten me to where I am right here. D-Money. But he's got a split backfield, so I'm not too in love with him. So I got movable pieces. You guys just got to hit my line.
Okay. All right, Jared. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Enjoy the pod, everyone. And I will talk to you later, buddy.
Later, guys.
Later. Zach starts of the week. Braden picking up Gardner Minshew over Geno. As you refer back into his interview, we talk about this exact thing. I said going into the week, like I have a couple shitty bench spots to burn, so I'm gonna try to fuck with him a bit. So I put in a waiver wire request for like 5 quarterbacks. I knew I wasn't gonna get all of them because I had like the same guy being dropped for them, but I figured like if I could just fucking fuck up the computer somehow, it would help me. Fucking sue me on that, And I didn't talk about it, and let me backtrack here because there was also another thing happened where I tried to talk a little shit to Braden, and I tried to say like you're resulting to jinxing, and he threw out a screenshot of me bribing him with money. That is fucking absolutely nothing, boys. There is no controversy here whatsoever. I act like that on a Tuesday. I act like that all the time. Like, I will text the people I'm playing, I will text them like, dude, just fucking try. Like, that is just normal behavior. And if he actually would have wanted $100, I don't have $100 to really give him, to be honest with everybody. And I probably wouldn't have paid for it for a fantasy win. It was just more of like a funny thing, like me trying to reach out to him. So don't even come for my ass, like on talking about like, oh, that's fucked up. That's really pussy shit. Fuck that. No, I lost. I lose a lot. And I'm doing every single thing I can to try to get in the mind of my opponent or try to fucking. So anyways, back to Braden picking up Gardner Minshew. Dakota, I seen picked up Josh Dobbs, so I was like, yes. I picked up Kirk Cousins and I think Taylor Heineke. I was like, yes, got those 2 off of him. And he was stuck with literally nothing left. Gardner Minshew and I think Geno Smith. So I'm putting him on the Zach Starts of the Week for picking up Gardner Minshew over Geno. Because Geno did go off, but Geno hasn't been very good, so that was probably a tough decision to make by him, but it ended up getting me the win. Another thing, he picked up Cade Otton. I did look at the tight ends to try to do this, but not having a backup tight end is the hardest thing to do is to try to pick up off the waiver wire as a fucking tight end in this league. The teams that have 2 tight ends, there's a lot of us, and it's because of that very fact. If you need to go to the waiver wire to pick up a tight end, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked because there's nothing out there. So I'm saying picking up Cade Otton, just because like you sorry about it. And then Adam benching Tank Dell, who that morning was labeled the number 1 wide receiver because Nico Collins was listed out. He outscored Brown and Godwin both by about 8-9 points. He ended up winning anyways. It didn't matter. Blah blah blah. Austin Adams rolling his eyes right now. Who doesn't give a fuck? But I thought it was by the definition a bad start because he should have been in your lineup over those 2 points. If you're looking in the morning, those guys should have been in. And then Peeler made 2 bad sits with Jalen Reed and Noah Brown on his bench. Both of those guys would have gotten him the win. Now, I don't know who you would have started him over, but Jaden Reed especially, like you probably wouldn't have made that start, but Noah Brown just went the fuck off in the week before, and he went off again, and he's the hottest wide receiver in football right now. Crazy to say, but he is. And then last one is no one would have made this start, so it really shouldn't be on here, but seeing 32 on your bench from Brandon Cooks had to fucking hurt, especially when you're in a close matchup. He absolutely went the fuck off, and it was against the Giants, so you could have looked at it, but I don't blame you for making the move. Week 10 matchup preview. We have, first off, we start off with me and Austin, both in a huge must-win position. Both of us are missing our best receiver on a bye. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he scores 112 every single week, and I don't. It's as simple as that. I don't score that. So if he does that again, he should pull off the win. But it is a huge must-win for both of us, and I'm going to hope to sneak him one. Zach versus Braden. Braden will have to play A.J. Dillon, and Zach is fully back to being completely, have all the studs back in his lineup. Both are teetering that 5-5 fraudulent zone, and both of them really need this win. Jared continues to continue his win streak against Peeler. Two hottest teams in the league, Adam versus Donald, face off. Both of them are full strength. We have Mr. Playing Tyler. Mr.'s going to hope to sneak one if he has any chance of keeping his playoff hopes alive. Tyler's on a roll. He's on a 4-game win streak, and I'm sure he hopes to get 5. Justin struggles with buys again this week. He has both of his running backs on bye, and he faces off against the league favorite Dakota. Loser of the week, Peeler. Last segment of the day. Peeler scores the low score of the week at 79.56. He did submit a video. He ends up just whining about my team. I hate fantasy football. Here's my trophy. I'll always have this. He didn't actually do a punishment, so please roast him in the comments. And that's it, boys. That's it for another episode of the Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, the Commissioner, Brandon, BP, Commish, whatever the fuck you want to call me. I appreciate everybody. I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you.
Boys. Where do I start? Been thinking all day of like what to do. I knew this day was coming. I don't know how I've made it, 9-10 weeks or whatever without low score. My fucking team is terrible. I don't really have words at this point. It's abysmal. It's disgusting. It's not fun. Hence my team name. You know, I'm trying to get up each week, trying to, have some positivity, just look on the bright side, maybe I'll get a win. I score 77 fucking points. My kicker's not going to get anything. Gerald Everett, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He had 0. I don't even know why I'm naming people on my team. They fucking suck. Like, they don't even deserve their name to be said. It's just not fun, boys. I don't like watching football this year. The Chargers suck. My fantasy team sucks. I'm fat. I'm trying to lose weight. I just keep drinking my sorrows away every Sunday. It's not a good year, boys. So I think what I'm going to do here on out every Sunday is just, enjoy this bad boy. I'm still the fucking champ until someone takes it from me, which will happen this year, but until then, this motherfucker's still mine. But, yeah, I don't know, boys. I'm not going to do a punishment because I'm already down in the dumps. I'm in last place now. Congrats, BP. Sick fucking league. Yeah.